The former Prime Minister of Denmark, the CEO of Save the Children International, Helle Thorning-Schmidt, who is also co-chair of the event. Goodness me. One of the most qualified people we've had on the programme, I think. Very good morning to you. The theme The theme of this year's Davos meeting is responsive and responsible leadership. Are those terms that you would apply to Donald Trump?
Well, we still have to see what Donald Trump is going to do when he gets inaugurated and he becomes president. But I'm quite happy that this week in Davos we have many leaders, business leaders, political leaders, artists, as you are saying. We have got together here and we are all signing up to a new pledge, basically, where we want to be responsive, which means that we have to listen more, also listen to people that we don't agree with, but also be responsible. And be responsible to create a better world, to be big grandiose at Tuesday morning. But that is basically why we're here, to discuss how we can improve the state of the world by being responsive and responsible.
Now, Helle, you've got this big star attraction this year. You've got Xi Jinping. He's the first Chinese president to ever attend Davos. But is the reality at Davos this year that every conversation, all roads eventually lead to Donald Trump? Because it's all about him right now, isn't it?
Well, I don't hope so, because one of the reasons I'm here is basically to draw the world's attention back to the blueprint that we have for how we want to move the world forward. I'm here to talk to world leaders about their obligation to live up to the so-called Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals that we all agreed on 1.5 years ago. That is basically a pledge to this world's most deprived people that we will create a better world for them. So I'm here to ask world leaders, wherever they come from, business or political life, to be part of that solution and to ask themselves how can they contribute and how will they align, for example, their businesses or their countries, if they're leading a country, how will they align with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals? Let me ask
you this, though.
So not all Trump here.
OK, but let me ask you this, though. I mean, in a way, you know, Davos every year is a collection of the most elite establishment kind of figures in the world, all, you know, backslapping each other, telling each other how they're going to rule the world. Along comes this seismic thing of Brexit in the UK, the Trump presidency. It's a real slap in the teeth, really, to the very people that are currently massing in Davos. You know, do the people there where you are, do they understand there's been a real sea change from the public in Europe, in America, a kind of rebellion, if you like, against the very things perhaps many of the people in Davos stand for?
Yeah, I actually think that a lot of people here do understand that something really big has happened this year. 2016 was not a normal year. It was a year where we saw seismic shifts towards a new world. And on top of that shift and the changes in political leadership, we're seeing a world that is changing with a pace that we actually quite don't understand now. We're talking here about something called the fourth industrial revolution, which means that we have robots, driverless cars, all these things that will change the world completely. And in that kind of world, it cannot be a bad thing that people get together and ask themselves, how can I actually contribute in my business or in my country to create a better world? And one of the things I'm talking about here is something that we perhaps not talk enough about. We have pledged to the children and the people of this world that we will end extreme poverty in 13 years, by 2030. We are not on track.
We're about to lose the line.
We are not on track, and we need to be back on track.
Got the message. Yeah. We're about to lose the line. Before we do, I wanted to show you this, the world's possibly most famous selfie. There you are. I think that was the Nelson Mandela Tribute Memorial in South Africa, with you, with Barack Obama there, taking what was one of the most famous selfies of all time. What can you tell us about that momentous moment?
Well, that was a fun moment. It was Mandela's, it wasn't his funeral, but it was a commemoration of Mandela. And there was it was like in a stadium, so everyone was very happy at that stadium. And basically I sat next to Barack Obama. David Cameron came over and we took a selfie. So that was a fun moment. And it actually underlines that when people come together, they're also just people being concerned about the state of the world. And I know there's a lot of discussion discussion about why is this 1% meeting in Davos, but surely it can't be a bad thing to have a conversation, and I'm asking everyone to think of the most basic things we want to change in this world. Okay. For example, extreme poverty, lack of education, and I believe that when people come down from this mountain, they will actually ask themselves, how can I put one foot in front of the other to make this world a better place? And I think that's a good thing.
OK, Helle, thank you very much indeed for joining. We didn't even get round to the fact you're married to Stephen Kinnock, the MP, which is another fascinating aspect to your life. Because I wanted to ask you, how the hell did that happen? Well, we can get into that next time. We're going to lose you. But Helle, thank you very much for joining us. We lost Helle, but a lovely guest.